First and foremost, all gratitude to the divine for placing me here and now, for guidance, protection, and all blessings, big and small. Hello, Pyramid Energy. I thought I'd do a reading, and as I started shuffling, I started asking myself, the cards pop out and you can see some of them before laying down a spread. And I asked myself, what I'm gathering already from reading these cards, when I look at that and compare to the cards that are going to appear in front of me in the spread, is the spread creating itself as I'm shuffling and seeing the cards and feeling the energy? Or was that always the energy and I'm just laying down the spread to read? And it's got me thinking about the experiences that we create. Because the cards that I saw started making me think about this new leaf you've turned, this new page you've turned, this new season of your life that you've just entered. What's happening is that you're observing your experience and you've got all this love inside of you. Like, I've got major quantities of self-love flowing through me. I've had this for most of the afternoon. And it's been in the background already in myself, of course, but amplifying more as I get closer to doing this reading. And what happens though is that there's these doubts that come up, and they come up in thought, in consideration. So it's as if in your experience of swimming in this love and swimming in the observation of your experience, there's a consideration of how other people might feel about it. There's also a consideration about whether you're fooling yourself and whether this is real and lasting. And basically, through this just pre-shuffle, what I want to say is that what feels real is real. And, this conversation around whether we create our experience, we are creating our experience. And the main thing is recognizing that if you're feeling good, if you're feeling abundant in that moment, let it last. And I don't want you to cling to it. I don't want you to cling to it. I want you to feel it and know it's real. And I want you to express your gratitude for it. Feel the gratitude. Allow yourself to dive into the gratitude. Gratitude can be so soothing. It is. It is soothing, and it's not just soothing. It's soothing and creates even more abundance. And in your reflections, because we'll always have reflections, in your reflections of your past experiences, because undoubtedly you're considering the people that have been part of your experiences that have brought you here. You're also considering ideas you had about how things would turn out. And some have been disappointments. As you consider this, I want you to consider something that you may have overlooked, which is gratitude for all these experiences. And I'm going to unpack that because I do believe you have a sense of gratitude for your experiences already because, you're the one who fought, struggled through them, and you're the one who saw yourself through. What I want you to consider is, had some of these things that you wanted to come together in the past, would you be here now? Would this experience feel the way it does now? And again, this feels very circular because we can't choose both roads, We pick one road and we continue with that road because we can't relive another option. But currently, and I saw this earlier when I did a different reading, I was reading for myself and I hadn't started recording, but essentially I saw the Four of Cups, which is like meditating over, what's worked out and what hasn't, and sort of gathering thoughts and information on your experiences. And next to it, I had the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. And what this spoke to me about was past relationships and also past plans you had for work, visions that you thought would come together, or ideas you had that things you're passionate about putting together. And essentially, you're in a better position now to recreate, to create from scratch. So you have a clean slate and you don't have those visions that have come together, but you've become a creator. You're a creator now. You're creating your experience, and the eyes that you have now, the resilience that you have now, the vision that you have now tells you that the fact that those things didn't happen then was all working in your favor all along. And I feel like I need to say, there was also a time where you feared the fact that you had to make all these decisions. But now the pressure's actually off. The pressure's off. Because I see you, fast forward to the present, I see you in a deep state of self-love. And in that, remember that you're creating from this state of self-love. So it's not just the visions and the word clarity is coming up. It's not just the visions and the clarity that's coming together that you're creating from. You're actually creating from a state of love, which means that any experience going forward has to match you. And again, you're not clinging to this feeling. You're having gratitude for this feeling and honoring it with your actions and your decisions. So any offer that you receive, any opportunity that comes up, doesn't actually have the luxury to compromise what you are currently very grateful for. And I also want to touch on this idea of this guilt you have about other people that you've had to leave behind. If you come back again to the present and consider the depth of self-love you're currently experiencing, I want you to express gratitude to yourself. You know, I'm remembering this video, this meme that goes around. I'm trying to think who says it. It's an acceptance speech. And I can't remember who it is, American guy. And he's like, first of all, I'd like to thank myself. And there's something to be said about that, because there are so many difficult decisions that you've had to make to get yourself to this point. And in that, you actually become a teacher to the people that you feel you're disappointing. You're giving them an amazing opportunity to do the same for themselves. They get to observe you and they get to see the result of you choosing you. And so I'd like you to wash that guilt away. That guilt doesn't serve you. It steals from your current expression of self-love. So yes, honor the feeling, and I don't want to tell you not to stay there. I want to say, consider the logic of having guilt for choosing what you thought was going to work for you and something you have proof did. And regard all these past experiences with compassion, because that's more what they need. You know what song's been playing in my mind and my heart past 2 days? Is Shania Twain's You're Still the One. Looks like we made it. Look how far we've come, my baby. We might have took the long way. You know, that whole song, it's a love song, obviously, but it's a love song. And I consider to myself, there are so many songs that are love songs, and we sing them. We have a picture of a person we are singing them about, not realizing throughout this experience that one day, that it's possible that one day you will find yourself singing that song with way more feeling and truth than you've ever sung it. And you're singing it to yourself and to your journey. I'm going to clip it in at the end so that you can click it and go listen to it. Because there are so many. This idea of love, and this is obviously not the first time I'm saying it, but I think it's still worth a mention. And I think just the experience and even the mistakes around love are so important, because before, when you're a young person and you don't even really, from a mind point of view, know what love means, you know, it becomes this journey of searching for that love through the rejection, through the disappointments, through the the toxic sides of it, all of that. It's like you actually need that to finally experience what love is. You actually need those experiences. And so they should be honored, but they shouldn't steal from your present moment because you're currently creating, you're manifesting. I felt this very much yesterday, also realizing that the Elton John video that I posted was very much not targeted at Elton John. There are a few things that I said in that video that were, again, more clues. The numbers 411, 414, 444, 1444, they keep coming up. They keep coming up, and I'm recalling from that video I shared in the vision when my left ear started squealing, let's say. I was told that that's the frequency of manifestation. And that's the frequency you're in. You've tuned in. You've tuned into a manifestation frequency. And that means that how you feel is important, what you think is important, and to stay present in that frequency and that tuned in there is important. And to amplify it with gratitude. I'm telling you, you're manifesting at a rapid rate. I'm telling you, you are. And I think I'm not going to create more excitement than is necessary here because I'm not even going to pull cards. I'm sorry. Okay, I will. Let's do it. I've got the 10 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck here. Okay, I have you here with the Page of Wands and the Lover's card, which is making choices. You're at a point where you're trying to make choices. You want to follow your deep passions. What's crossing you is really spending a lot of time overburdening yourself with the options. And again, it's that slight confusion because here, top of mind, I've got 8 of Swords and Temperance. So you're trying to stay calm as you consider all these options and make decisions. And I want to take you back to the reading that I did on the footprints in the sand. That each step is now actually being led, being governed by what makes you feel good. And I've got that in your advice as well. I've got the Star, and for clarity, I just pulled the Moon. The Star is to recognize, this is your advice, the Star is to recognize that you're still healing. And I've got that in your near future as the Knight of Pentacles and the 3 of Swords. That you're actually still healing. And obviously you don't just flip a page and now tomorrow you're a completely different person with no memories of the past. This is gratitude for those memories and gratitude for those experiences like we discussed before. And to recognize that you're still healing. But in that healing, part of the healing is continuing every day going forward, remembering why you make choices the way you make them. And again, gratitude for the present moment and the present feeling of self-love. For some reason, as I say this, my third eye, I've got like a headache building in my third eye and thoughts building in my mind. And so that's a tension between your intuition and your thoughts. I'd like you to give your thoughts a rest, because if you recall exactly what got you to this feeling and this moment, this present, was giving your thoughts a rest. Please remember that the road that you took to find this sweet spot, which apparently you stumbled upon, okay? You stumbled upon it through not overthinking things anymore. You cleared everything up and you were just like, and it came together for you. And we've got thunder here again. As I was considering everything you cleared up, this is concerning your creativity, your ideas, everything, that point where things became overwhelming and you just smashed it all up and considered refreshing, when you rebooted. There are some things that were lost in this fire. Those are the things that you were considering. Those were the things that you consider now, the things you've left behind. What I want to remind you here, because I'm looking at the near future, is you actually still have the option of adding this back. But you don't have to stress yourself thinking about that. Because, again, like we said earlier, whatever it is can pop up, and all you need to do as you review it is consider whether it serves you, and consider whether it makes how you currently feel better, and consider that there's no pressure on you. Any decision you have to make, there's actually no pressure on you, because it's not easy to get you out of this spot if you stay in that state of gratitude. I also feel this, and I have it in the outcome. I've got the 8 of Wands, and so in your subconscious, I've got the Knight of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. So your mind is already feeling into what's coming in, because you can feel it's coming in, whatever it is. Your spidey senses are sharp and you can feel it. I don't want you to overthink it. You don't need to overthink it. You can sense it's coming in. When it comes in, your only consideration again will be just that. How does it make me feel? And there are no expectations of you. Yes, there was a time where you used to think to yourself, I need to add this to feel like that. I need to have this to feel like that. Well, you feel like that now. You feel like that. So apparently you don't need anything external from the outside that's determined by another person's actions or words. Apparently you don't need that to get to this feeling. And what else you don't need is anything that makes you feel threatened about whether you can retain this feeling or not. You don't need anything. Things are welcome. Experiences are welcome. People are welcome if they don't compromise how you're feeling. And I also want to say, don't exclude new experiences. I want to tell you to remember that you know how to find your way here, where you are now. You know exactly you know the way home now. You have had to find your way home in the dark. And another thing that keeps coming up for me the past 2 days is you haven't just found your way through the dark. You have found yourself before feeling like you could drown in the void. The void didn't drown you. It didn't drown you, and you're familiar with the void. You're familiar with the dark. And you needed the dark to find this place, because I do believe the light is very comfortable. Because in the light, if you're not welcoming the dark, you have to get comfortable with the one experience, the one repetitive experience, and I'm going to say this, the one repetitive experience that cannot offer you more. And so you have to welcome the dark to have more, to find more, to experience more. Depth comes with darkness. You've been there, so you know how to find your way home. And I have the 2 of Cups in your surrounding factors. It's clarified by the 10 of Wands. This is sure, this is like one of those things where you it's both at the same time. So this is possibly what you've always wanted. This is like now we're sitting in your subconscious and we are observing what's incoming and what's surrounding you. This is your 2 of Cups, but adding it is a change, and that's making you feel it's completely stressing you out. It's completely stressing you out. You don't need to think about all those dynamics. You can find your way home. Just stay honest with yourself, Queen of Swords. Stay honest with yourself about how you got here and what works for you and what doesn't, and how it feels. Because we got here on feeling. We arrived at this spot on feeling. And something strange just happened to me when I'm looking at the area of what you want the most and the area of what you fear the most. I've got the 5 of Wands, the 9 of Swords, and the Ace of Cups. And I was inclined to pull more cards for clarity, but I'm actually just going to honor the fact that these 2 sets of cards, outcome 8 of Wands and 6 of Swords, these cards are presenting in confusion. And so this is actually not reflective of whether I suddenly don't know how to read cards or not, because I know I do. But what this energy is reflecting to me is you putting too much pressure on yourself to know what you want. You don't even know what's come in. You don't even know if you're going to like it. Yet you have decided that that's a fear for you to hold. This is the nature of uncertainty. And in the outcome, the 8 of Wands and the 6 of Swords is quite clearly saying, when this communication comes up in, whatever it is, you are still going to be sailing away with your truth. If what has been offered fits in the boat, that's great. And if it doesn't, well, it's you and your boat and your stuff continuing to sail away. And you know, yesterday, another song that came up, I must have listened to it about 5 times. It literally just downloaded it into my mind. What song is that? This song. Ain't nobody gonna break in my stride. Ain't nobody gonna slow me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. And you know, I've never actually paid attention to the lyrics of this song. And yesterday I went to look. And it's basically, it's a song that's told, I'll put both of these songs at the end of the video. I should be putting my own videos, but it's more important right now for you to hear the song. But it's told from 2 ends. The guy who's singing the song is talking about a dream he had of this person. He sailed all the way from China to go see, it sounds like, a woman. And he gets there and she's busy doing her laundry, and she just basically explains that she's busy doing something. And obviously he feels he's traveled like from afar to go see her. So he's made a huge effort, which for me like reminds me of, you know, the person who feels they've done all their inner work and they've finally caught up. And by the time they catch up with you, I mean, you were there in the same town as them, but by the time they finally catch up with you, you're busy. You don't want to be disturbed. You don't want to be derailed. And this speaks to the lesson, because she's carrying on with her stuff. But along the song, you actually realize that he's starting to sing the same song. And he kind of gets it. He comes to understand why she can't stop doing what she's doing. You know, she's had to find her truth. Yes, he traveled all the way from China. Yes, he expected her to drop everything for him, but she can't. And he actually learns something from this. It says here, you're on a roll and now you pray it lasts. The road behind was rocky, but now you're feeling cocky. You look at me and see your past. Is that the reason why you're running so fast? And she said, ain't nobody gonna break in my stride. So I want you to remember that, because in following your truth and finding your own way home, you actually also become a teacher. You become a teacher, because now that you're familiar with how it feels to be like this, is it not a privilege to be an example of what it can do for a person to dedicate their time and energy to finding their own way home? I think it is. Sending you love. If you're interested in a personal reading from me, I've left my details below in the description box.